Hi there, I'm Ali from Fussell. This year we're supporting Pedal The Periphery, which is the 48-hour, 480-mile charity ride in association with NIPANC all around Northern Ireland. We're supporting the event. We're also giving away a brand new bike to the team that raised the most amount of money for charity. One of the things we wanted to cover was you're out there for 48 hours, you're covering big mileage, the likelihood is you're going to get a puncture. So we're going to show you now really quickly how to get rid of the old tube and put a new tube in. Okay, obviously your tire's soft, you've got a puncture, you can't carry on. You want to be able to just get rid of the old tube. You could repair it, but it's going to take a while, so put it in your bag. You want to get rid of your old tube, put it in your jersey, take it with you, and hopefully you've got a new tube, or somebody in your team or somebody in a support vehicle nearby will have a replacement tube. We do advise everyone carries a tube with them because it will make life a lot easier for anyone else that's on the road that does get a puncture. So first thing you want to do is get the old tube out. So you're going to take off your valve cap. There's a little ring as well generally that holds the valve into the rim. Take that off as well. Those parts, set those aside. Now the best place to start is at the valve. You want to try and take the tire off. If you start anywhere else, it's going to be a lot tighter. You're going to feel like you need tire levers. You shouldn't need tire levers. If you really must use them, you can obviously use them if you've got them, but most tires should come off without tire levers as long as you start at the valve. So you come down here with me. You want to try and pull the tire back off the bead, because sometimes if it's had a lot of pressure in it, it might be stuck to the bead of the rim. You'll never get it off unless you break that seal. So you go all the way around, try and just pull one side back off the rim, get all the way back to the valve, and then you just want to try and bend this. You see, if you pull it back, I don't know if the camera shows that, but if you pull it back slightly, it almost wants to pop off itself. So you just want to let it do that and then lift it up over the edge of the rim and just work your way around a little bit at a time and just pull it off like that. Once you get about a quarter of the rim done, it should come off really easily. And if you're just replacing the tube, you don't need to take the tire off completely. You just need one side. So you can see here the other side's still in. That's fine. Now I always twist the valve back closed again, but if you're getting rid of the tube, it doesn't really matter. So what you want to do now is pull the tire back to expose the tube, lift the valve out first, and then the whole tube should just come out dead easy like this. And then the punctured tube, you can either repair it or you can put it in your jersey and put a new tube in. So you've now got your new tube, you've lifted it out of your box. Some people, you can put a little bit of air in it first just to give it a bit of shape, because a really brand new tube that's dead flat might be quite, it's difficult, it can get twisted. So what you can do is just undo the valve. Sometimes you have to actually push the valve in when it's brand new, just it should rattle like that. These are Presta valves. Some of you might have Schrader valves, but it's unlikely. Schrader valves like you would see on a car. These are Presta, which are a high pressure valve for road bikes, gravel bikes, any sort of bicycle really. So loosen that up. You can put a little bit of air in by breathing in it, but just enough to give it some shape. And then I would always advise with a new tube, before you do anything, is tighten that back up again. And the reason for that is they're so fragile, it's so easy to damage them. You don't want to, the last thing you want to do when you're putting a new tube in, especially if you're in a fluster, is bend this or break it or have it snap off, because that renders the tube completely useless. If you've got your brand new tube, you know there's no punctures in it. Again, first thing to do is find the hole here. So you can just pull the tire back slightly, put the valve through the hole, and then you want to try and lift the tire back over that, and then just carefully, really carefully feed the tube back inside the tire. Make sure it's all the way in. Right there. Now, unlike when we took it off, we want to start reinstalling it opposite the valve. So we want to start down here, well, up here actually. So the valve's now at the bottom of the wheel. We don't want to be trying to install the tire at the valve. You want to start opposite the valve. Reason being, that's where there's most room, there's most free space for the tire to sit. So again, kind of like in reverse of what we did last time, just pull it up. Make sure you don't nip the tube. What you don't want to do is have the tube sitting in between the rim and the tire, because you can nip it then. And again, I'm going to try and show you how to do this without tire levers, because if you use tire levers to install a new tube, there's a high risk that you can nip or puncture the new tube, and then you've undone all your hard work. So just work your way around, push everything back in. You can take your time with it and be slow. You don't want to go through all this effort and then have an issue further down the line. So just keep working around, and at some point you'll reach the stage where it starts to get really tight. You can see here that obviously this bead needs to be on the other side of the rim. So once it starts to get tight, what you can do, if it feels like it's not going to go on, you can then come all the way back up to the top of the tire here, and what you want to do is push this in here, and you can see that there's actually a channel in the middle of the rim called a well, and if you push the tire down into that well, it gives you that extra space that you need to be able to get the tire on by hand. So do that the whole way around, both sides, and then as if by magic you should then have a little bit extra space, and that should just go on dead easy. There you go. So that's our tire and tube back in. All we need to do now is undo our valve and pump it up. We're using a track pump here because we're at home, but obviously if you are on the road, you may want to have a small pump with you, or carry some CO2s, or if you've got a support vehicle, maybe they'll have a pump in there as well. That should be it. Put your wheel back in and away you go.